JBN, we keep you informed. Coming up in the news today, alleged customs conman arrested. 60-year-old man sentenced for cocaine in St. James. JUTC projects $9 billion in losses. Author Andrea Levy, daughter of Jamaican immigrants, dies of cancer. 3 cops to be sentenced April 5, and decomposed body found in St. James with head severed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily. Alleged customs conman arrested. The Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, CTOC, is reporting that detectives have arrested a male suspect in relation to a customs scam. The police say the male allegedly posed as a Jamaica customs employee and collected sums of money in exchange for promising to help persons transact business at the agency. They say he is suspected of fleecing several persons. The police say intense investigations led to his arrest. CTOC investigators are urging persons fleeced of cash in Newport West or anyone else who may have been victim of the scam to contact them at 876-967-1389. That's 876-967-1389. JUTC projects $9 billion in losses. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC, the beleaguered state-owned bus company, has projected that it will rack up operating losses of just over $9 billion for the upcoming fiscal year. The losses are the result of a $1.5 billion increase in the company's operating expenses. The 2019 to 2020 Jamaica Public Body's estimate of revenues and expenditures has revealed. For the 2017 to 2018 fiscal year, the JUTC had auditing operating losses of $7.2 billion, and according to the company's estimates, that figure will balloon to $8.1 billion at the end of the current fiscal year, which ends on March 31. The continued hemorrhaging at the state-owned bus company comes despite the fact that the government has pumped nearly $9 billion, $3.9 billion in the 2017-2018 fiscal year, and $4.9 billion in the current fiscal year into its operation. It is projected that the JUTC will receive $5.1 billion in government subvention this fiscal year. However, Michael Phillips, opposition spokesman on transport, believes that the losses at the JUTC will soar beyond the $9 billion projected for the coming fiscal year, and insists that a fare increase should not be among the measures to improve the company's balance sheet. Before the government even considers a fare increase, we need to see a national transportation plan. Before you increase, you have to bring some order to the system. You have to see what are the shortfalls you're having out there, Phillips said yesterday. Transport Minister Robert Montague could not be reached for a comment. According to the public body's estimates, the JUTC has projected that it will collect $4.4 billion in fares over the upcoming fiscal year, a near 10% increase when compared with this fiscal year. However, the company said projected increases in fuel and staff costs, as well as from repairs and maintenance of its fleet of buses, have pushed operating expenses to $10.3 billion, up from last year's estimated figure of $8.8 billion. 60-year-old man sentenced for cocaine in St. James. A 60-year-old man who was last year charged under the Dangerous Drugs Act following a cocaine seizure in Montego Bay, St. James, was yesterday ordered to pay $250,000 or face 6 months in jail when he appeared in the St. James Parish Court. The convicted man, Lloyd Arnold of Hopewell in Hanover, was arrested by the narcotics police at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James, about 1 p.m. on Monday, December 17, 2018. Police say he had arrived in the island on a flight from Panama, and during an interview, his actions and answers to questions aroused their suspicion. He was subsequently hospitalized under police guard, where he expelled 14 packages containing cocaine. He was later charged for possession of cocaine, for which he was fined $100,000 or 6 months imprisonment, and importing cocaine, for which he was fined $150,000 or 6 months imprisonment. He was also given an additional 9-month sentence. However, this is to be suspended for 2 years. The sentences are to run concurrently if the fines are not paid. Novelist daughter of Jamaican immigrants dies of cancer. Andrea Levy, a prize-winning author who chronicled the hopes and horrors experienced by the post-World War II generation of Jamaican immigrants in Britain, has died. She was 62 and had suffered from cancer. One of the first Black British authors to achieve both critical and commercial success, Levy was best known for a novel, Small Island, which tells the story of two couples, one English and one Jamaican, whose lives intertwine in London after World War II. The saga of war and racism won several major literary prizes: the Orange Prize for Women's Fiction, the Commonwealth Writers' Prize, and the Whitbread Book of the Year Award. Georgina Moore of Tender Press said Levy died Thursday after having been ill for some time. Levy, who grew up in public housing in a working-class North London neighborhood, started writing fiction in her 30s when she enrolled in a creative writing course in London. Her first books, Every Light in the House Burning, Never Far from Nowhere, and Fruit of the Lemon, drew on her background as a child of Jamaican immigrants growing up in London. Though critically praised, they failed to win a mass audience. That changed with Small Island, which made Levy one of Britain's hottest writers, discussed in book clubs and read by droves of subway commuters. Her most recent novel, The Long Song, tells the story of a house slave in the 19th century Jamaica and was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize. She also published 6 stories and an essay in 2014, a series of short stories and a piece about her Caribbean heritage. Small Island and The Long Song were adapted for TV, and a stage version of Small Island is opening at the National Theatre this spring. When I started out, I was seen as a sort of marginal voice. The attitude was that only Black people would read the books, Levy told the Associated Press in 2005. It was very hard because I was writing something a little bit different, in that I was just writing about family, small stories. At that time, the prevailing trend was more sort of guns and drugs and stuff, and so they didn't quite know what to do with me. They didn't think there would be a market for it. But Small Island became a classic word-of-mouth success, helped by warm reviews and internet discussion groups. It focused on people like our parents, the post-war Windrush generation, named for SS Empire Windrush, a former troop ship that sailed from Jamaica to England in 1948, carrying hundreds of West Indian migrants. The immigrants, many of whom fought against the Nazis in World War II, often found themselves to be unwelcomed in London. Two characters from the book, Gilbert and Hortense, are shocked by the racism they encounter and by the realization that the mother country is a shabby, dark nation recovering from war. I don't really believe in baddies and goodies, Levy said. I don't believe in good and evil. I think we all have the capacity for both. Every one of us, depending on circumstances. I would like to bring that out in the characters. 3 cops to be sentenced April 5. The fate of 3 police constables who were last week found guilty of manslaughter for the 2012 shooting death of 16-year-old schoolgirl Vanessa Kirkland will be decided on April 5. The sentencing date for Constables Dervin Hales, Anna K. Bailey, and Andre Wayne Smith, who were all assigned to Mobile Reserve, was scheduled on Thursday, February 14 in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston. The trio was arrested and charged with murder in May 2013, was last Friday found guilty on the lesser charge of manslaughter, following their 5-week trial which started in January. The prosecutor during the trial led evidence that the teenager, who was a student of Immaculate Conception High School, was killed in March 2012 after the 3 police constables drove onto Norman Lane sometime after 9 o'clock on the night of the incident and opened fire on a blue Suzuki Swift motor car parked along the left side of the road. 6 other occupants in the car were shot and injured in the incident. The defense team, which included attorneys Peter Champagny, who represented the 2 males accused, and Oswald Sina Simmet, who represented the woman cop, argued that the defendants were acting in self-defense when they fired on the car. The defense maintained that the police went in pursuit of the vehicle after they were put on alert that occupants of the car had robbed a man of his cell phones, and during the pursuit, 2 men fired at them from the car and they took evasive action and fired back. Decomposed body found in St. James with head severed. The Coral Gardens police have now commenced a full investigation to find the identity of an unidentified male whose decomposed body was discovered at a section of the upscale Coral Gardens community in Montego Bay, St. James on Thursday afternoon. The police say the male, whose head was decapitated, had his hands and feet bound and was discovered in bushes. Reports are that shortly after 12 p.m. on Thursday, residents in Coral Gardens alerted the police after the body was discovered in bushes in the area. The body, which is of dark complexion, had his hands and feet bound and the head missing. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.